أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي آمنا بالله وصدق الله العلي العظيم. My elders, brothers, sisters, Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I will say a few words in English to get the program started, and I will continue with my topic of Munajat of Imam Ali alayhi salam. As you know, we discussed in my last lecture very briefly about Munajat Imam Ali alayhi salam. And we started with the first part where Imam Ali talks about the day that will come, the yawm that will come, when nothing will help you. All the things that you have counted on, malun wala banun, nothing will help you. And the people on those days will be demonstrated, those who have committed oppression, zalimun, right? Those who are guilty of bad things, those who have controlled other people, those who have hurt other people, those who have been guilty of all kinds of heinous crimes. And we talked about the fact that this does not only imply those who have been oppressors, dictators in a grand scale of things, but also those who have committed small transgressions. Imam Ali is reminding us that be aware of this day that will come when these actions will need to be accounted for, when nothing will save you. Your possessions, your children, nothing will save you. Malun wala banun, it's not going to save you. Then we come to the second part of Munajat. The second part of Munajat, usually we recite this together when we are gathered, but actually Munajat is a silent prayer. Munajat has to be recited quietly. So we recite it together because we are here in the mosque, but Munajat is usually silent prayer, so when we go home, we should recite ourselves, thinking about the words and recite it in silence with reflection. But when we come to the second part of the Munajat, this is the heart of the Munajat. This is the main part of the Munajat. This is where we have the 23, 24 lines where we say, Mawlaya ya Mawla. And we say these lines many times. The words, they change slightly, but the theme is the same. And each line has three dimensions. The first dimension is the quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we say Allah is such and such quality. Then we say, but I am the opposite of that. So if Allah is so majestic in such and such quality, whichever one it is, then we say, I am the opposite. I am the lowest. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the highest in that quality, in that faculty, in that attribute, then I am the lowest in that attribute. And then we say, so then Allah should be merciful to me because Allah has the higher quality than mine. And we will go briefly through these lines that we say because this is the second part of the dua. Please recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. We have to think about these things as we recite them. Because when we recite these munajat, when we recite these silent prayers, the idea is that it should impact us in a way that makes us aware of the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these lines, and our own attributes as human beings. And these lines of Imam Ali are reminding us that we as human beings, we are nothing. We are nothing compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, compared to the creation, we are nothing. And we talk about that. So we say, first of all, the first line, just the first line of this part of Munajat, Imam Ali straight away kills our ego. If there's anybody with ego, this line will finish it right away. Mawla ya Mawla, anta Mawla wa anal abd. We are nothing. You are the master, and we are the slave. No matter who you are. You could be Bill Gates. You could be Harun al-Rashid. You could be anyone, right? When it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are nothing. We are nothing. And the first line sets the pace for what Imam Ali is trying to remind us in this dua. That is why we recite this dua in the month of Ramadan. Because the month of Ramadan is a spiritual month when we should be thinking about these things, thinking about the human being. We go on to say this again. Mawlaya ya Mawla, anta maliku wa anal mamluk. You are the owner, I am the owned. Anta al-azidhu wa ana dalil. You know, you are the mighty and I am the low. Mawlaya ya Mawla, anta khaliku wa ana makhluk. You are the creator, I am the creation, right? So each one of these words is putting us in our place. As human beings, we should have no ego. We should have no pride. We should have no kibr. As you know, it says in the Quran, Inna Allaha la yuhibbu kulla mukhtarin fa'akhur. Right? We should not have that pride. As we recite these lines, one after the other, the reminder is that Allah is at the top and we are simple creatures and creations of His, and we should have no pride. Anta al-azim wa ana al-haqir. You know, we are the ones who are miserable. All the time we complain. We have no shukr. We have no gratitude. We have no appreciation for things. We have no thankfulness for what Allah has done for us. We are poor. Mawla ya Mawla, anta al-ghaniyu wa ana al-faqir. We are poor. No matter how much you accumulate in this world, it is nothing compared to the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, when we accomplish anything and we say, oh, now we are Fir'aun, now we are Gaddafi, now we are Saddam. No, we are nothing. Because when we have that pride, what does it make us do? Then we come back to the first part of the dua. Everything ties up. Then we become the zalimun. We are reminded in the first part of Munajat, where Imam Ali says, on that day the zalimun will be the ones that will be recognized. But by having these qualities, now Imam Ali is saying, purify the soul. Remember your humanity. Remember your station compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anta al-hayyu wa ana al-mayyit. What is Imam saying? You know, Allah is the living and we are the dead. What does that mean? Are we dead? We're not dead. We're reciting the dua. But compared to the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our existence is nothing. Many times we are living in a state of not even aware of what our existence is compared to the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, compared to His creation, compared to the universe, you know. So, yes, we may be alive, but that existence is a very measly existence compared to the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anta al-muti' wa ana as-sa'il. We are beggars. And People say, oh, we're beggars? Yes. What do we have that we cannot lose tomorrow? You say, oh, I don't beg from anyone. No. Wait until you go to the hospital tomorrow and somebody says, you have the cancer. Immediately you turn to Allah and say, I beg you, take this disease away from me. Everything that we have can be taken away in the blink of an eye. Come to the hospital, myself, Sayyid Ruda, we can tell you stories after stories of people. They wake up in the morning, they are fine, they are happy, healthy, they think they are on top of the world, proud. That same day they are lying in a stretcher in the hospital, right? So we are the beggars. Allah is the bestower. Antal muti'i wa ana sa'il. And we go on like this 23 times, reminding of ourselves what are the qualities that Allah has. Antal baqi wa ana al-fan. You are going to be there forever. How long has been the existence of Allah? For Allah, there is no time. We think we get to 90 years old, we think, oh, alhamdulillah, we had a long life. Somebody's 100 years old, oh my God, mashallah. The existence of Allah has no time. Time is not a dimension for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what we are reminding ourselves. Antal baqi wa anal fan. Even if you live the longest, what is the longest? 105, 110? Even that, in the grand scheme of the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we look at some of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes they're saying, you see a star, that star may not exist right now because the light from that star has taken millions of years to reach you. So right now, maybe that star is not there. You can see it in the sky, but it's not there. That is the dimension of time. Imam Ali is talking about these concepts. And when we think about it, when we reflect on these concepts, especially in this holy month of Ramadan, it reminds us of our position with respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anta radhiku wa anal mardhuk. Can we get a rizq without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We cannot. So when we recite the Munajat, we have to think about what we are reciting. We have to think about what Imam was trying to do in this Munajat, in this very, very deep prayer. And I'm only touching the surface because each of these ideas is one lecture by itself. Each line, Sheikh can verify that each line of Munajat is a lecture by itself. After reciting this part of Munajat with the several lines, we recite about Anta Rabbu wa Anal Marbub, Anta al-Mutakabbir wa Ana al-Khaish. Each one of these concepts we can talk about for ages. Why we say Allah is Mutakabbir? Why do we say wa Ana al-Khaish? We come to the point where we end the dua. We end the Munajat. And how do we end the Munajat? Even that is itself worthy of analysis. But just to finish up, we say to Allah, Ya Mawla, arhamni bi rahmatik, Ya Allah. My Lord, have mercy on me by your mercy, right? Have mercy on me. We're saying it twice. Have mercy on me by your mercy. The way Imam Ali plays with words in this Munajat, we talked about last time how he switches from his own words to the Quran back and forth in this Munajat. You can analyze it for lecture after lecture and we will still not be done. But he ends by saying, وَارْزَعَنِي بِجُودِكَ وَكَرَمِكَ وَفَضْلِكَ يَا ذَا الْجُودِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَطُولِ وَالْإِمْتِنَانِ برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Be pleased with me by your generosity. Now we are asking Allah to be pleased with us, because we've gone through this reflection of this dua where we've thought about what we are as human beings, what our station is as human beings, what we need to think of ourselves as human beings. And now we are asking at the end of this dua for Allah to bless us with His rahmah, all the generous, the beneficent, the almighty and the benefactor. 4 of the big titles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. So when we recite Munajat, we should think. We should think, Quran, we are told, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَقْفَالُهَا. We have to think what we are reciting, Quran, Munajat. We have to spend time to reflect, because each of these concepts is very deep. أقول قولي هذه. Ahsant, thank you for the invitation. We end with Surah Al-Fatiha, followed by a loud salawat. Allah.